But I look back at who is starting 7th, 8th, and now Dylan Hoover, who's moved up into the inside of road number 5. All 3 of those cars starting mid-pack have been extremely sporty as well. So Tyler Shaw out of Mexico, Missouri. He will have another fellow Mexico, Missouri native starting just behind him and to the right in Robbie Reed. Stacked and packed, wheel to wheel. Nose to tail, down the backstretch at a very slow pace that Tyler Shaw is setting. This being our feature race, an extra 5 laps for the modified, so 25 times around. T. Shaw dives into turn number 4. Mike Striegel looks him over. Green is in the air. Shaw gets a little roughed up on that start. He's going to pay the price as Jason Persley grabs the lead. Robbie Reed will follow in his tire tracks. They started nose to tail on the outside, and they have gone up to the top spot. Matt Johnson hard charging already. He's in the top 5, looking for more as he dives to the inside. 3 wide, a battle for third.
It is the 38 of Jason Persley. Persley, the superintendent over at Hermitage, and a lot of smoke off the back of that 23 car once again. As we saw that in the heat races also. 17 taking it off and taking the right-hand turn over in turn number 2, but it's going to be Persley, and he has got Robbie Reed right behind him.
Yeah, tough break for Grant Holman, who was starting up front, had a great redraw, and now we're just starting to see him drift off one after one. The car that is smoking is still on the track. The 85 that started on the pole, and Tyler Shaw got way up in the loose stuff, and he now stops on the top side of turn number 2. So a tough break for T. Shaw, your pole sitter, and it did not last long. He fell behind on the original start and then had a wide turn over in turn 2, and he will creep along the top side, maybe stop to see if anyone will spot to see if there is any sheet metal damage on the 85.
It looked like he got up into those marbles, got a little loose. There was a car heading in, taking the right-hand turn and going back to the pits, and he tried to avoid him, and that's why he ended up turning over in turn 2. But still, you go from the penthouse to the back door, as it is in this case. That is the 85.
First time here for Reggie Jackson in the 356. Want to send some thoughts and prayers to him. Had to take his dad to the hospital this morning. Not a great situation for the family, so we give them the best of luck and best wishes. It has got to be difficult. Reggie Jackson was back here back in 2018 running in a street stock, was extremely fast, and back then he said, you know, I've just got a lake house. I don't make it out all that often. He likes to run. He's extremely strong. And now he told me, turning his attention to a modified, completely different story. He didn't really know what he had coming in. And he has been, especially in the heat race to get this started, a factor in the heat race. That Vanderbilt chassis, Danny Crane engine, Rogers Auto Salvage, Dawson's Hot Wheels, Lebanon Quality Cars, Low Boat, sponsors on that. Speaks very highly of all of his sponsors. Gives them a lot of credit for him to be able to make it to the track every single week. Picked up a win. That was back in 2020 that he ran here. Picked up that win in the street stock, so he takes a couple of years off. But Reggie Jackson in that 356 looked really good in the early going in the heat race, and he is still back mid-pack right now.
Tyler Shaw getting checked over in turn number 2 by the officials, making sure that there's no rub. He's not having any sheet metal rubbing or anything along those lines. He's going to come back. Heavy damage to the right side of that car, Shane. It is Persley on the Delaware restart. He is on the point. Matt Shaw, the one car, or Matt Johnson, excuse me, and Robbie Reed. And in that second row as they bring him around into 3 and out of turn number 4. This time it's going to be green flag in the air.
Well, got to tell you, if I'm Jason Persley, I want to get away from those 2 cars as fast as I can. That was not a rear view mirror you wanted to see with Matt Johnson and Robbie Reed, but Robbie Reed does exactly what a number of other cars have done, get up in the loose stuff in turn 2. He pays the price, and that might do his night in the early going. He goes from second He is dropping back. He's all the way back to 7th. Matt Johnson almost does the same thing, as that allows Jason Persley to escape.
Persley out front. He has found a line that works for him, and he is fast rolling around there with an 18.644 time last time. The one of Matt Johnson in that second spot brings it around now. Ryan Middaugh and Trevor Hughes battle for that third spot as they come around.
Matt Johnson was 1.8 seconds behind last lap. He is still 1.8 seconds behind. Race control keeping a really close eye on Michael Talley's car in that 23. So much smoke coming out, you got to wonder where it's coming from and what might be expiring underneath the hood. Just continues to stay steady, making sure that no fluid is getting dropped down on the track and make it disastrous for the drivers that are still trying to keep it straight and run up front. The man that is keeping it straight the best right now is Jason Persley. But Matt Johnson, he took 0.2 of a second off that last lap. It was 1.8. It was down to 1.6. This time, Persley crosses, and Matt Johnson back to 1.8. So a good lap turn there for Jason Persley.
Persley in behind that 23 of Talley. Doesn't know for sure if he wants to go around or not as he comes up on the lap car. Your leader.
No, he most definitely wants to get around. He just doesn't know how to get around.
There you go. Well, it looks like he's looking to the low side. Cannot do it. Matt Johnson with an opportunity to catch the leader as they come through. Talley trying to hold the line as he comes up this time now. It is going to be Persley on the high side coming out of turn number 4. He's going to make the pass. Here comes Johnson behind.
And Doug, that's where Jason wanted to make that pass. He has been running topside this entire race. But on the turns 1 and 2 on the last lap, Talley was in that position. Persley had to try to navigate around to the inside. Didn't work. So he lived to fight another day. He lifted off the gas, waited till turns 3 and 4 to make that pass on Talley, and it worked out. But now it was just one car he has to get around. Now he's caught up with the rest of the field, and he's got to work them one by one. We ran 10 laps, and Matt Johnson has ran Jason Persley down. He's cut the lead in half over the last 2 laps, and now it's even less than that, less than 0.7 of a second between first and second.
38 of Persley stays to the high side. Johnson, the one car, looks to the low side on them corners as he comes around. It is the 38 of Persley. Now Johnson going to follow that line coming out of 3 and 4, but he has got traffic to contend with, but so does Matt Johnson.
Continuing to look to the top side. Next car that would go a lap down, that would be the number 69 machine of Cecil the Diesel. And now the 23 just gets slower and slower. He's staying to the inside. That's the good sign. He's staying down where nobody's running right now, and Jason Persley, a good job to peek to the inside and get Tyler Brown out of the way. Now Brown, the lap car, stays in between Persley and Matt Johnson. Johnson dives way down low, and a car will spin, and it is the car we've been watching in Michael Talley. He will get to the infield, and Michael Striegel will throw the caution flag. The Boone's Barbecue caution comes out 14 laps in, and Jason Persley has got to be pounding the steering wheel right now. He did not want to see the caution come up and give Matt Johnson an opportunity to get on his back bumper. Now, I say that. The good thing is now he doesn't have lap traffic to worry about for a little while.
That's
so
true.
While it lets Matt Johnson get up on his back bumper, the good news is he doesn't have to worry about lap traffic for a while.
The other part of that, too, Shane, is that the 38 of Persley has been great on the restarts. Now, Matt Johnson hasn't been this close, and Matt Johnson, who is generally very good on restarts on these races also, so we'll see how this works out, but it is Persley who's going to be on the point, and he will set the pace.
And with Johnson catching up with Persley lap by lap and doing it in lap traffic, that's the question that I would have is he was catching up with him already in bad situation. Now it's a better situation as Talley is back out on the track.
Talley, who coming back out, evidently has got either a tire rub issue or an oil issue.
It's got to be more than a tire rub. That is James Bond smoke coming out of the back to try to throw off the villain type of smoke. And now what's going on with the 21 of Ryan Middaugh?
Think he's seen something up in that high side for our crew. Or he had to get to the other side. I take that back. He went to get to the outside lane for his spot.
Why did Ryan Middaugh jump in front of the leader during caution?
To get to the other side.
To the other side.
Yeah, I knew that. Got to admit, though, that was pretty good.
Stacked and packed, we have reached the midway point, 13 laps down into our 25-lap main. It's been all Jason Pursley so far, but Matt Johnson's right there. Trevor Hughes has worked his way up into the mix. The second-generation driver of the legend, Jason Hughes. Can he play a factor in this? Dylan Hoover has gotten up there, and Ryan Middaugh rides in fourth.
You talked about Hughes. Here comes Hughes. Hughes on the low side. Looks to go around the one of Matt Johnson. It is Pursley out front. Johnson in second. Hughes in third as they cross the line. Now two of them getting together. That is Ryan Middaugh and Hughes get together going into turn number one this time.
Ryan Middaugh is going to lose a couple of spots. Robbie Reed will move up a couple of spots. Reed to the inside. He will follow Mike Hansen. Haven't mentioned his name yet before. He comes all the way from North Dakota. Dickinson, North Dakota to be exact, a four-time winner on the season. As we've got spins on both ends of the track. Yeah. Reggie Jackson on the left side.
Ryan Middaugh.
And Ryan Middaugh on the right. So now the question becomes who brought the caution out and who might get their spot back if the caution came out.
Well, we're going to find out here shortly. Again, on the restart, Jason Pursley, the 38, has been doing a tremendous job on those restarts. Did this time. Stayed in front of the pack, even though a hard challenge from Hughes and Matt Johnson.
And I know there were only 2 laps put in. 13 is where we started that last restart, and Jason Pursley did pretty well. He actually built out a 0.7 second advantage over Matt Johnson. So the question we had was, what's more valuable, getting caught up to the leader or getting away from lap traffic? And I think, at least for the time being, the answer, getting away from lap traffic, because Jason Pursley has been able to stay out in front of Matt Johnson.
Yeah, and now we're going to find out again. Johnson has seen it once. He knows, he is a veteran. He knows what to do. Now how to counter. We're going to find out if he can do that with the 38. Looks like the 23 of Talley going to take the right-hand turn and head back to the pits.
Trevor Hughes, we mentioned he made his racing debut in a USMTS Modified here last year. The son of Jason Hughes, won 4 times a season ago. Won twice at Salina, won at Tri-State, won at Rocket. But he has only made 1 A feature this year. He's ran 11 events and has not gotten out of the B, with the exception of once before tonight. He is making the most of it now that he has. He's up in the top 5.
Yellow goes out. We're going to go green flag out of turn number 4 on the Delaware restart. He sets the pace. Here comes the 38. Jason Pursley with green flag in the air and 10 to go.
Pursley stays up on the top side. Hansen's been working the bottom groove, and it has been working. He has found some tackiness. He has found some grip. And he has found clean air now to the inside of Pursley. If he continues to make turns like that, we hadn't mentioned much about Mike Hansen until he got into the mix, but man, once he got there, he has gone on a tear. He has now gotten around Matt Johnson up to second. And another spin in turn number 2. It's for your pole sitter in T-Shaw. He brought out the caution early on whenever he stopped on the top side of turn number 2. Caution will come out again. The Boone's Barbecue Yellow will get back in the air.
38 of Jason Pursley has got to hate the color yellow right now. He gets out, gets going, and draws him back in. But now he's got another challenger. That 12 car is on his back door. That is Mike Hansen. Hansen, the Dickinson, North Dakota native, in that second spot. Third belongs to Matt Johnson. Johnson, the 1X from Archie, Missouri. And fourth, it is Dylan Hoover, the Columbia, Missouri, number 99. And rounding out your top five, the 712 of Trevor Hughes. Hughes from Salina, Oklahoma.
When Mike Hansen came in last year, expected him to have a run last year like what he had this year. We knew he was good, just didn't develop. He didn't make the start in the feature, but now he has come back trying his hand again at the Diamond of Dirt tracks, and right now that diamond is getting polished as he is all the way towards the front now, riding in second, 10th of a second behind Jason Pursley whenever that caution came out, and now he and Matt Johnson are right on the back bumper again.
Yellow light goes out, and that means we're going to go green flag out of turn number 4 this time, Shane.
16 laps have been ran. Jason Pursley's been turning the best average lap time of 18.8, and no doubt whenever you're running up front, that's going to happen. He has led all 16 laps so far. On the restart, Hansen uses that low line, uses it well. Just has not quite had enough to catch up and get alongside Jason Pursley on a consistent basis. Matt Johnson runs the top side as well. He pokes along back in third. Hoover now has gotten up to fourth, and Ryan Middaugh, who we saw catch a lucky dog break, if you will, after spinning out the exact same time that Reggie Jackson spun out, he is able to stay up in that top 5 area. He's running in sixth, and he has a challenge from Robbie Reed to the outside.
Now Matt Johnson, the 1 car, has moved up into that second spot, taking second back away from Hansen. And he has the superintendent on his sights as he comes around to 38, the 1 of Matt Johnson. Johnson now looks to the inside going into turn number 3. He's going to try to make the pass. Can he hold the slide? Coming around, it's going to be side by side at the line. Johnson just by an edge.
2/100ths of a second. Pursley tries the slide job again over in turn 2. It does not work out. He will give up a ton of ground as Hansen still sits back in third. And now Johnson plows up the track. He gets in the loose stuff, 3 wide down the front stretch. Johnson hangs on to it, but Pursley is right there again. Matt Johnson now 5 car lengths ahead. They'll get 3 to go this time by. Nose to tail, 1 through 5. Johnson right up the track. He loses the lead. He loses second. He loses third. He loses fourth. He's back to 5th. Jason Pursley in the catbird seat now. Back to where he was before Johnson grabbed the lead, and now the Boone's Barbecue caution will come out again. This is for Greg Scheffler, top side of turn 2, Hobby Time Motorsports safety crew. We'll have to go back to work. We've got 2 laps to go, and Matt Johnson, he was a long run car. Once he got back to third, he had to bide his time. The car came into him. He got around Hansen. He got around Pursley, but he was flirting with disaster on the top side. Multiple times he got up into the loose stuff, and it cost him, and finally it cost him big enough that he drops back all the way to 4th as Pursley, Hoover, and Hansen are your top 3. Word from race control, they did not get lap 23 completed, so they have to go back to the last completed lap, which is 22. That means Matt Johnson will go back to the front. And the superintendent, Jason Pursley, at least for the time being, having none of it. He thinks he's got the lead. So go back to lap 22. It's Johnson, Pursley, Hansen, Hoover, and Hughes. Well, I don't know what horseshoe or rabbit's foot or what four-leaf clover Matt Johnson has, but the fact that a car spun the minute he was dropping from first all the way back to fourth, the sun is shining on him right now as he is able to get his top spot back. Caution lights are off. 3-lap shootout now as Matt Johnson hits the loud pedal all the way over in turn number 3. And back at it. Car drops off the track. That's the 101 of Dixon, so his night is done. And now Hansen works to the inside of Pursley. Does anybody have anything now for Matt Johnson? Brand new chassis and engine for 2023 for the pilot of the number 1. For Matt Johnson on the season so far, still looking for his first win. 3 top 5s. You have to look no further for Matt Johnson. First win of the year for the Archie, Missouri native here at Lucas Oil Speedway.